Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is your girl Ty. Today is Wednesday, July 1st. We made it through the first 6 years of 2020, and this is yesterday's news. All right, so while so many brands and people are doing the bare minimum performative bullshit that no black person asked for to try to prove that they stand in solidarity with black people, like replacing white voice actors playing black characters, which should have never been cast that way anyway, or like deleting episodes of things that weren't really offensive anyway, Netflix seems to actually get it and be willing to actually do the work. So after pledging and donating a total of $5 million last month to creating opportunities for black creators and funding projects for black education, as well as for small black-owned businesses, and after the CEO of the company and his wife donated a total of $120 million to Morehouse Spelman and the United Negro College Fund, Netflix announced this week that they are moving 2% of their cash on hand to black-owned banks and institutions that invest directly back into black communities, financial institutions specifically. The idea is that putting an influx of money into these black-owned banks or to financial institutions in black communities gives those institutions more lending power, which means more opportunities for people to own homes or finance their businesses or whatever. So just so you get an idea, because 2% doesn't sound like much, as of March 31st, that 2% for Netflix equals $100 million. So kudos to them on that. And they've also listened and hired a black woman to their executive team. Bazoma St. John, who was formerly at Uber and at Apple. Before she was at Apple, she was at Beats by Dre. When they got purchased, she stayed on with Apple. She has been hired on as the new chief marketing officer for Netflix. So kudos to her and kudos to Netflix. Speaking of Netflix, Ozark has been picked up for a 4th season, which I didn't know was still up in the air, especially because season 3 kind of ended with a cliffhanger that made me feel like they knew where it was going next. But it is locked in now. Sadly, this will be the final season of Ozarks, which honestly I'm not really too mad at because I'd rather they go out on top. No shade to Game of Thrones or True Blood or any of the many series that have disappointed us, but this final season of Ozarks will be 14 episodes as opposed to 10 in the last 3 seasons. And what they're going to do is they're actually going to split it up into 2 parts. So you'll get 7 episodes first, another seven episodes separately. No date as to when that will come just yet. And of course, all of the main characters will be back, or anybody who hasn't died yet will be back for season 4. HBO is getting ready to release a 6-part miniseries called Unruly about the life of Jack Johnson, who was, of course, the first ever black heavyweight boxing champion. And they have tapped Mahershala Ali to play Johnson as of yesterday. Unruly is being called Unapologetically Black, and it follows his whole, rise to actually winning that championship, but also all of the trouble that followed in his life and in his career from him winning that. So it is based on a PBS documentary called Unforgivable Blackness, The Rise and Fall of Jack Johnson. So it should be pretty factual, but we don't have any word yet as to when that will come on to our TVs. I will keep you guys posted as I get more details. Will Packer is also working on a sports drama. This one is based on HBCUs, and it's called One and Done, and it's the story of a young man who is coming into his own while attending an HBCU, but who also finds himself at odds and at war with the NCAA system. Again, with that one, really no details beyond that. And lastly today, Lil Wayne had another guest on Young Money Radio to discuss another album that you probably forgot you heard about and wanted, or that you maybe didn't know was supposed to be coming at all. Manny Fresh made an appearance on episode 8 of Young Money Radio, and he and Weezy confirmed once again that they are working on a new album. For those of you who don't remember or who didn't know, this all comes from back in 2018 when Manny Fresh revealed that while they were working on the Carter 5, they walked away with 13 songs that were not released that Manny himself produced. And then in 2019, he did another interview where he actually referred to that project as the Fresh Files and said it was in the works. So as of this most recent episode of Young Money Radio, Manny Fresh says it will happen before 2021 is over with, after this whole coronavirus bullshit. That is his direct quote. And that's going to do it for me today. Make sure you like, comment, and share. And come back tomorrow for today's news.